It was a day of two seasons intertwining. A bitterly cold coastal wind blew in from the North Sea, but as you looked inland, a preview of spring was playing in the landscape. These days make you feel alive, and winter by the sea is surely the very definition of refreshing. My walk took me across skylark-inhabited meadows and along low cliffs towards the ancient ruins of Reculver, a place I return to often to find peaceful rejuvenation. The merging of seascape, wide skies and green flatlands is time well spent outdoors. It feels good for my eyes to focus on a horizon afar instead of four walls and digital screens. Reculver is a place of rich history and lasting folklore. Inside the imposing 12th century towers lies the remains of a Roman fort from around 200 AD. When it was built, the sea would have been much further out, but coastal erosion over the centuries has led to any remains of this settlement lost beneath the waves. Today I stand mesmerised by their movement, sound, and the colours of algae reclaiming the concrete defences. Whilst the site is in ruins, St Mary's Church's towers have remained standing and have been navigational beacons for sailors along this coastline. As I stood at the foot of them, the weather suddenly turned, and it became even more awe-inspiring that such a place has withstood these bleak conditions for almost 1,000 years. And there are other lingering traces of the past here too. Ghostlore of hooded figures who walk between the towers and Roman soldiers patrolling are quite typical paranormal cliches associated with the site. But I once got talking to a local man down on the beach who told me about the infants whose remains had been found in the walls of the Roman ruins. Perhaps in traditional burial custom of the time, but myths of ritual sacrifice pervaded local hearsay, and he told me, "I don't go up there at night." Apparently, haunting cries of children can be heard in the darkness. We can never fully know what happened within these walls. To quote historian Matthew Green in this book I am currently reading, "The joy is in the guessing." The ice-cold rain and bitter wind on my fingers saw me take shelter further down on the beach. Here, shiny, wet bladderwracks and dulces drape across rocks and stone to create a welcome palette of colour on a winter's day. These textures and hues, arranged by the tide, demonstrate nature's perfect artistic tendencies. Whelk egg balls washed ashore in winter storms populate this coastline abundantly this time of year. I've seen many here and on other North Kent beaches. The jewels of the sea, otherworldly gifts. Back inland, watching sheep graze under the sun, I felt the first stirrings of spring. The rain had blown over, out to sea, to create the most dramatic vista. Look carefully for the faintest of rainbows. This is a common and well-protected meadow for skylarks, and one sung above me vociferously and then plummeted down onto the meadow right in front of me. This was thrilling to witness, as I find skylarks are often easier to hear than to see. Returning from my walk through joyful yellow gorse, I spy through the bushes the remains of the old Victorian Herne Bay pier, far out to sea. Looking like a submarine now, but once the end of one of England's longest piers, over 1 kilometre in length. Damaged by storms and by fires over the last century, it now slowly decays, detached from the land. Another structure lost in this place of drowned history.